Who can stop Steph Curry?
Hopefully we'll never find out.
Three-pointer. Scoop layup is up. It's good. Puts it in. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. A 50-point Game 7. One of the greats of all time showed us once again what he's capable of doing as he chases his 5th ring.
Everybody, welcome to First Take. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Quite the crew this morning. Kendra Perkins, Stephen A., Monica McNutt, and NYC. Hey, lady. How's everybody feeling?
Howdy.
Pretty good.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
I've
Happy
had
Monday.
I've had better Mondays. You know, I expect a little more from my New York Knicks, which we will discuss. But all I got to say is this: no matter how or what I saw yesterday, rather. Orange and
I
blue
gotta be honest,
skies,
but I
baby.
can't hear anyone.
Orange and
Can
blue
you not
skies.
hear anyone either?
I thought it was
Okay,
just me.
let's roll. We'll get to the VO and we'll get our audio straightened out. I'm sure it was
I can
Stephen
hear
A.
Perk.
I'm sure it was Stephen A. dissing me in some way and Ferk saying something nice. So let's go. In a Game 7 on the road with their back against the wall. At least I got you, Monica. Stephen Curry erupted for 50 points on 20 of 38 shooting, the most points ever scored in a Game 7 in league history. He scored 17 in the fourth. The help Curry got was limited as Klay Thompson 1 of 10. Jordan Poole scored just 5 points in the first half. Then midway through the third quarter, they turned it around, folks. Klay and Steph scored or assisted on 30 of the Warriors' 35 third quarter points. They will now face the Lakers in the conference.
But that's how I felt, back when in my playing days, with Michael Jordan. You'd see it night after night, so you just took it for granted.
Who can stop Steph Curry?
Hopefully we'll never find out.
Now that's a bar right there. Steph Curry in full effect last night, dropping an NBA Game 7 record of 50 points in the Warriors' victory over the Kings. Curry also tied Karl Malone for the most points ever in a playoff game, age 35 or older, with his performance. Okay, Stephen A., let's get to business here. Did Steph's performance cement him as the greatest point guard of all time?
I think it's a worthy discussion. Can we say that definitively? No, because Magic Johnson, like Steph Curry, revolutionized the game of basketball, showed you that a big dude, 6'9", could play point forward or could play point guard, could be an elite passer, run an offense, lead a break, etc., etc. Although, albeit a bit smaller, some would say, the Oscar Robinsons of the world showcased that themselves, particularly him, because he averaged a triple-double in the 60s. But the fact of the matter is, Magic Johnson revolutionized the game of basketball. We can't get around that. But Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created, I think has warranted a strong discussion to be the best point guard in history because of impact. We know that he's revolutionized the game in a different way, because of what has been able to be generated in terms of three-point shooting or whatever. But I'm thinking about impact. Just like Magic Johnson impacted the greatness of a Kareem, of a Worthy, of a Byron Scott, a Norm Nixon before him and others, all right? And basically it instituted the fast break in a way we had never seen until he arrived. Steph Curry has done that for the game of basketball in terms of the jump shot, the three-point shot, the space that it creates for the opportunities that it creates for the players around him, how it scares the living hell out of defenses and what have you. And then when you take into account not just his shooting ability, but it's off the dribble, it's floaters, it's runners, it's spot ups, it's off screens and picks, it's everywhere, it's off the dribble, creating his own shot. This brother is something magnificent. There is no way around it. And so for me, when I look at it from that perspective, and I think about impact, the way you affect not just the players you're playing with because you create open opportunities for them because of how people have to lock in and zero in on you. His movement without the basketball is something else that we need to pay attention to and really, really appreciate. because he scares the living hell out of you because you're always looking for where he's at because he's always moving like a road runner for crying out loud. You can't find him, okay, until it's too late, all right? You take that into consideration. The impact that he has and the fear he instills in opposing defenses because he can shoot from 30, from 40, from 50, from 20, from 10, from 5. Scored 22 points in the paint last night. Yesterday afternoon, rather. 22 points in the paint. He's that dude. And it is a discussion, at the very least, that he is the greatest point guard that has ever played the game of basketball.
You know what? It's so hard, right? Because the evolution of the game and how now when we define the positions of the game, and I would encourage both of y'all, and Molly, you two, all three of y'all, to actually go read Rashard Phillips' book, right? Basketball Position Metrics. And Rashard Phillips was, one of the Detroit's finest, one of the greatest college players to ever touch the basketball hill. Kobe Bryant said it was one of the best players he ever played against that never got drafted. But with that being said, he actually labeled Steph Curry as a hybrid guard. A hybrid guard is an offensive disruptor, right? Steph Curry as a hybrid guard. The fact of the matter is, because of history, he's going to go down as a point guard. And I actually said this last year after he proved me wrong and went on to win the championship in the NBA. And we forget that this guy's still doing this at 6'2", average around close to about 30 this year. So when I look at Steph, I said it last year and I'm going to stand on it right now. He is the greatest point guard to ever play the game of basketball. He is the greatest point guard.
We're having the conversation about the title of this position, right? Because for me, yes, right? This is the player that I've had the opportunity to watch through this era continue to change the game, essentially, right? But it took me so long mentally to get to the place of seeing Steph as a pure point guard because he is such a prolific scorer, playmaker, shot creator, not just for himself but for his teammates. And so, Mark, I love where you went in terms of acknowledging this hybrid guard because in the era of positionless basketball, right? You think of that when it comes to bigs that are on the perimeter. Well, I mean, basketball, right? You think of that when it comes to bigs.
So without even figuring out who comes off the list, somebody got to come off the list. Because he's that figure it out.
Let me get to a point. Y'all will be interested in this because
I can't talk about a couple of Hall of Famers that I had a conversation. Me and Wilbon was here doing NBA Countdown in LA yesterday, and we had a conversation. Wilbon and I were going back and forth with it. Then we got on the phone with a couple of Hall of Famers who will remain nameless because they'll kick out you know what if we can tell you who they are. They just made it very, very clear. You will not quote us. But they started dissecting and talking. We was having this debate, Wilbon and myself, with these people. But they talked about magic in this regard. They said, let's keep in mind with these people that when you talked about magic in this regard, they said, let's keep in mind with these people that when you talk about magic in this regard, they said, let's keep in mind with
you had a wonderful weekend. Quite the crew this morning. Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A., Monica McNutt, and NYC. Hey, lady, how's everybody feeling this morning?
Howdy.
Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A., Monica McNutt, and NYC. Hey, lady,
Happy
how's
Monday.
everybody feeling?
Happy Monday.
I've had better Mondays. I expect a little more from my New York Knicks, which we will discuss. But all I got to say is this: no matter how or what I saw yesterday, Brad, orange and blue sky. Orange and blue sky.
Okay, let's roll. We'll get to the VO and we'll get our audio straightened out. I'm sure it was Stephen A. dissing me in some way and Kirk saying something nice. So let's go. In a Game 7 on the road with their back against the wall. At least I got you, Monica. Steph Curry erupted for 50 points on 20 of 38 shooting, the most points ever scored in a Game 7 in league history. He scored 17 in the fourth. The help Curry got was limited as Klay Thompson 1 of 10. Jordan Poole scored just 5 points in the first half. Then midway through the third quarter, they turned it around, folks. Klay and Steph scored or assisted on 30 of the Warriors' 35 third quarter points. They will now face the Lakers in the conference.
But that's how I felt back in my playing days, with Michael Jordan, you just felt you'd see it night after night, so you just took it for granted.
Who can stop Steph Curry?
Michael Jordan, you just felt you'd see it night after night, so you
Hopefully
just
we'll
took
never
it for
find
granted.
Who can stop Steph Curry?
Michael Jordan.
Now that's a bar right there. Chef Curry in full effect last night, dropping an NBA Game 7 record of 50 points in the Warriors' victory over the Kings. Curry also tied Karl Malone for the most points ever in a playoff game, age 35 or older, with his performance. Okay, Stephen A. Get to business here. Did Steph's performance cement him as the greatest point guard of all time? Did Steph's performance
I think it's a worthy
cement him
discussion.
as the greatest point guard of all time?
Can we say that definitively? I think it's a worthy discussion.
As the greatest
Because Magic Johnson, like Steph Curry, revolutionized the game of basketball. Showed you that a big dude, 6'9", could play point forward, or could play point guard, could be an elite passer, run an offense, lead a break, etc., etc. Although albeit a bit smaller, some would say, the Oscar Robinsons of the world showcased that themselves, particularly him because he averaged a triple-double in the 60s. But the fact of the matter is, Magic Johnson revolutionized the game of basketball. We can't get around that. But Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created, we can't get around. I think has warranted a strong discussion to be the best point guard in history. I think because of impact. We know that he's revolutionized the game in a different way because of what has been able to be generated in terms of three-point shooting or whatever. But I'm thinking about impact. Just like Magic Johnson impacted the greatness of a Kareem, of a Worthy, of a Byron Scott, a Norm Nixon before him and others. All right? And basically it instituted the fast break in a way we had never seen until he arrived. Steph Curry has done that for the game of basketball in terms of the jump shot, the three-point shot, the space that it creates for others, the opportunities that it creates for the players around him, how it scares the living hell out of defenses and what have you. And then when you take into account not just the shooting ability, but it's off the dribble, it's floaters, it's runners, it's spot ups, it's off screens and picks, it's everywhere, it's off the dribble, creating his own shot. This brother is something magnificent. There is no way around it. And so for me, when I look at it from that perspective, and I think about impact, there is no way around it. The way you affect not just the players you're playing with because you create open opportunities for them because of how people have to lock in and zero in on you. His movement without the basketball is something else that we need to pay attention to and really, really appreciate because he scares the living hell out of you because you're always looking for where he's at. He's always moving like a road runner for crying out loud. You can't find him. Okay, until it's too late. All right, take that into consideration. The impact that he has and the fear he instills in opposing defenses because he can shoot from 30, from 40, from 50, from 20, from 10, from 5. Scored 22 points in the paint last yesterday, rather. 22 points in the paint. From 20. From 10, he's that dude, and it is a discussion at the very least that he is the greatest point guard that has ever played the game of basketball. At the very least, that he is the greatest point guard.
You know what? It's so hard, right? Because the evolution of the game and how now when we define the positions of the game. And I would encourage both of y'all and Molly, you two, all three of y'all, to actually go read Rashard Phillips' book, right? Basketball Position Metrics. And Rashard Phillips was, one of the Detroit's finest, one of the greatest college players to ever touch the basketball hill. Kobe Bryant said it was one of the best players he ever played against that never got drafted. But with that being said, he actually labeled Steph Curry as a hybrid guard. A hybrid guard is an offensive disruptor, right? But the fact of the matter is, because of history, he's going to go down as a point guard. And I actually said this last year after he proved me wrong and went on to win the championship in the NBA. And we forget that this guy's still doing this at 6'2", average around close to about 30 this year. So when I look at Steph, I said it last year and I'm going to stand on it right now. He is the greatest point guard to ever play the game of basketball. Period.
I'm just so glad that we're having the conversation about the title of this position, right? Because for me, yes, right? This is the player that I've had the opportunity to watch through this era continue to change the game, essentially, right? But it took me so long mentally to get to the place of seeing Steph as a pure point guard because he is such a prolific scorer, playmaker, shot creator, not just for himself but for his teammates. And so, Greg, I love where you went in terms of acknowledging this hybrid guard because in the era of positionless basketball, right? You think of that when it comes to bigs that are on the perimeter. Well, I mean, basketball, right? You think of that when it comes to bigs.
So without even figuring out who comes off the list, you know somebody got to come off the list. Because he's that damn great. Let me get to a point. Let me get this. Y'all will be interested in this because
I can't even talk about a couple of Hall of Famers that I had a conversation. Me and Wilbon was here doing NBA Countdown in LA yesterday, and we had a conversation. Wilbon and I were going back and forth with it. Then we got on the phone with a couple of Hall of Famers who will remain nameless because they'll kick out you know what if we tell you who they are. They just made it very, very clear. You will not quote us. But they started dissecting and talking. We was having this debate, Wilbon and myself, with these people. But they started. They talked about Magic in this regard. They said, let's keep in mind with these people that when you talk about Steph Curry, he's great, all-timer. Nobody denies that. But what they lamented about Steph Curry, folks, is that when you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him and you're not talking about his shooting, what else is there? The only time you talk about him
you.